You were checking out some sweet blues licks by the one and only Mr. Scott Holt, and he's on the Rock and Review with us today. We're talking about his Amplifiers by O'Brien and his G&L guitar, and you know, you're touring all over the United States, Canada, going to be in Europe soon. You got a lot of great CDs out, but I mean, you played with Buddy Guy for 10 years, man.
10 years.
You know, and we were talking earlier about, you know, hanging out, you know, in the same room with Buddy and BB and a lot of the blues greats, John Lee Hooker.
Yeah.
And that's incredible.
It was amazing. I mean, it was an amazing start to a career, you know. It feels like you started at 100 miles an hour.
Right,
you know?
right. Yeah, and now you've got you've got your own band going with the Scott Holt Band, and we're talking about your amplifier, man. You've been playing the O'Brien amplifiers for a while.
Built by Tim O'Brien.
And so tell us a little bit more about these, man.
He builds them all himself. They're all hand built, hand wired. He builds them in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Right.
He's got a patented technology for a channel switcher, which is the foot pedal.
I thought, what an incredible concept.
Yeah.
You know, when I was researching it before you came on, I thought, that is a great idea. Instead of having to stomp the different channels, you're actually able to use like a volume pedal.
Right.
And then, so you can, as you've done, combine the different channels.
Right. On the 30 watt, there's one reverb. On the 50 and the 100, the bigger amps, there's two reverbs. So as you're sweeping across the channels, the reverbs morph too. So if you use less reverb on the distorted channel, as you go across, it pulls the reverb out.
Wow.
And it's a really cool technology. And just the fact that his amps are voiced, the way they're voiced, they don't sound like other. I mean, they're not patterned after a Fender or a Marshall. They're their own tone.
I could totally tell that, man. And the tonality is incredible, especially with the technology when you were mixing between a clean and a dirty.
Yeah. And when you, I mean, we've got it turned way down in here, but when you hear them cranked up and the tubes are cooking, you know, it's a.
So when people are like front row at your show, then they get to hear the full tune.
Anybody that's ever been to my show more than once doesn't sit in the front row. That's not a good spot.
You know, because I was on your website and I saw on there, you know, the motto is "loud is good."
That's right. That's right.
You know, so I mean, they're going to get their money's worth.
Yeah, get a nice seat in the back. You'll be fine.
Well, then I also wanted to talk with you, you know, about the G&L guitar you're using now. You've, you know, you and I were talking to where you've sort of gone on a more Telecaster phase of your career, where you've been playing Strats for a long time.
I'm in a Telecaster sabbatical at the moment, I think.
And so, you know, now you're gigging out with one of Leo's last designs.
Yeah, this guitar, I stumbled on this guitar about 8 months ago, and I have been playing it almost exclusively for the last 8 months.
Well, you know what, and it plays and sounds like the old vintage models that Leo did.
It's just, I mean, it's, you know, there's, compared to a Strat, they're so archaic, you know. I mean, there's only 2 pickups, there's only 3 positions for the switch, and there's no whammy bar, and there's none of the little tricks that you can do. But it's just, it's like the, I don't know, it's just the best guitar I've played.
Well, you know, and G&L makes, I mean, I think, you know, a lot of people don't know them as well as the bigger brands, but I mean, they make a great product. And you were talking too that they even keep Leo's little area.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're building these on the original Fender machine. So these are like, you know, if you want a real Fender guitar, almost, these are, you know.
And if you go to the G&L website, they've got a picture of Leo Fender's work area still.
Yeah.
And you said they've left that as it was.
And he was still designing, like, right up until the end. I mean, he was still trying to come up with new ideas.
And his wife's still involved with the company now?
His wife's still involved, so.
So let's talk about you, though, now. You've got your website.
ScottHolt.com.
Okay, and so we definitely want people to check that out. You've had, how many CD releases now?
7.
7, that's what I thought.
Far,
and the last one was Kudzu.
It came out last year.
And then you're going to have a new one coming out this year.
Yep, comes out later this summer.
So people can find you, you know, on your website or Facebook. And follow you, and you're touring all over the United States.
Everywhere with electricity.
And you're opening for a lot of these great blues guys that, you know, when you're playing with Buddy before, now you're opening up for him with your band.
Okay, I get to open for Buddy every now and again. We play his club in January when he does his month of dates in January. We've gotten to open for him there.
See, I think I need to go see that show.
Yeah, man. Pack warm. January's not a fun time in Chicago.
No, I'm sure it's not, but I mean, you know, the blues will warm you up.
Yeah, that's true. It's a good time. You'll forget how cold you are once you start hearing him play.
I like that. I like that. Well, now, where can people find out about the O'Brien amplifiers too, Scott?
They can email at info@americanguitarboutique.com.
Okay. Good to know, good to know. And then on the G&L guitars, obviously you can look up G&L online, and I know there are a number of companies that sell them. You know, it's hard to find them locally, but they make some great guitars too.
They're making fantastic guitars. Just I think everybody ought to have at least 4.
You know, well, that's like the guitar player line. It's like, how many more guitars does a guitar player need? Just one more.
That's exactly right. Just the one I don't have.
And that's always us,
that's
right?
It, man.
Well, be sure and check out Scott and his new CD coming out. And if he comes, he's playing locally. You know, he plays up in Missouri a lot too, where I've got a lot of friends. And check him out. Great band, very talented guy. And thank you for watching the Fox 17 Rock Interview.